without further ado, folks, as you well know, today is the man, the myth, the legend. He's on with us right now. I don't know where he's at, but I'm in a Uber here, getting ready to head over to the airport to get to Fresno. And he doesn't need very much production, but I'm going to do this anyway. He had the best, and I keep saying that, the best of the best, as far as I'm concerned, promotion ever seen in ACN's history. When he had Mr. Marvin Sapp singing "Not a Dry Eye in the House" and standing next to Mr. Les Brown, and just a who to who, and going down to Nectar Island, hanging out with the billionaire Richard Branson. Now think about it, Richard Branson on his Nectar Island. Man, I can't even get reservations over there to go over there. Well, anyway, without further ado, everybody, the great, the one, incomparable, Mr. Byron Nelson.
I was ready to take notes on how you gonna like get the Uber driver, the pilot, all the flight attendants. I know where you're going.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say this for Saturday Night Leadership. I'm gonna show you me live in action, and you guys, it's gonna blow you away. Because not only that, watch this. I'm gonna show you pictures of me doing it.
I know that's right.
I got them all. I'm gonna show you this one. I'm gonna show you everything. So without further ado, Saturday night training, come on back and learn and watch, and I'm gonna give you scripts. I'm gonna give you everything. Saturday Night Leadership. God bless you. Back to Mr. Nelson.
Awesome. Well, we could talk about each other forever. I'm just gonna jump in the water because you guys know he's a myth. I'm just a legend. I'm just working to get to myth level. I'm just he's just an amazing individual. Anyone that's blessed enough to be able to work with Mr. Al Thomas knows, you should know. If you don't know, you will know. And that's one of the things that I think more than anything else is we take our leaders for granted more so than anything else. Jeffrey, if you do me a favor and give me control, I want to share something. I want to open and close with something. I got control. You go. And you are the bomb, Bree. Okay, so we're going to start with this. I played something a couple weeks ago. Do you guys remember Legacy when I played that? Okay, Catherine said yes. So I want to give you a smaller version. Can you guys see that? Can you see my screen there? Pat, can you see my screen? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that and do this and then do this. Oops, let's do this. Let me make sure that I'm sharing properly. Let me go here. Forgive me. Let's go here, here, and here. Now we're there. Now we're in the game. Okay, let's go.
What is it you want to be remembered for? Think about this question. You don't have to come up with an answer right now. Most of the time, it's not about the answer. Most of the time, it's just about asking the right questions and thinking about it. Who do you want to be? What do you want to become? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? You have to remember, 100 years from now, most of us will be gone. And the only thing left are the memories of the people we leave behind and the actions we took in our life while we're still able to. So which legacy you want to leave behind? Think about this question and decide. Sit down, decide, and take action. Because in the end, it will not matter how much money you made, how many titles you had, or how many houses you own. In the end, 2, 3, 4, 500 years from now, people will remember you and ask one question. Did he make the world better or worse? That's for you to decide. I cannot tell you what to do. I only can tell you, if you do nothing, you will be filled with regret. If you do not chase the passion in you, your desire, your wishes, your dreams, and giving it to this world, spreading it, making this place we live in better every day, with consistent action and passionate feelings, you will regret it. I rather fail and die than living a life in regret. I want to be remembered as a person who pursued his goals and tried to create something this world can benefit from a long time when I'm gone. This is not about me. This is about the legacy I will leave behind.
So in asking that question, the reason why that's important here, let me make sure this does not go to the next level here. When you ask yourself, and this goes into the training of pieces that I want you to take away, because when I talk about, can you guys hear me clearly, by the way? I want to make sure I come on the screen.
You're good.
Okay, thank you. So when I talk about legacy, it's not a cliche. For a lot of people, they think it's a cliche or it's just a great conversation. And when I talk about Mr. Al Thomas being a myth, that means he's already broken barriers to be able to be remembered past his family, at dinner table conversations, into generational conversations. And it's easy to take a person for granted if you don't know what a person has actually done, because we're so consumed with our own life, our own self-validation, our own self-finding, if that makes any sense. We're so busy, caught up in that you really don't really take heed to some of the giants. This goes because someone like Mr. Al Thomas, he goes so far beyond ACN, though many of you may only know him in ACN. But what he has done to transcend, and why hitting SVP is really the starting gate of, and you want to write this down, plan with the end in mind, that's where the game starts, you know. And I was thinking about this training all night, actually, as to exactly how I wanted to share it and how I wanted you guys to be able to take it in. So many times we point out what you aren't doing rather than what you should be doing and are doing. And it's not a beat up session, it's a wake up session, right? I mean, it's a blessing to even just wake up every day. And so why this resonates with me so much is because I can say in the last 4 days, I've lost 4 people, 2 that were very close to me, 1 that was my best friend since 7th grade. And it seems like every time I get on a call, you guys heard me talk about it last week, that one of my best friends actually had a heart attack, and then he was brain dead for 4 days, and he just died 48 hours ago, you know. And I think about how, you know, when they unplugged him, I was me and my other best friend, 3 of us, and my other best friend asked him, well, he wouldn't have wanted to live like that on life support, you know. But it so plays into my conversations, you hear me say consistently, that people live as if they'll never die and die as if they never lived, you know. And so when I talk about legacy of what Mr. Al Smith is actually, Al Thomas is actually living out, he's into the legacy. Him putting this call together is legacy. Now, only maybe 1, 2, or 3 of you may really grasp it to the degree that I'm speaking, that you take what he's doing not as a deity or deification. We don't do that. We don't immortalize or, put people in a pedestal in that capacity, but a person that lives their life that inspires you to get to the level of life of your full human capacity of who you can be, that you use that person as an example for the rest of your life. It's what I strive for more so than anything else in that legacy. It's like, and this plays into ACN, it plays into your business. So I'm going to ask you a question like, what are you not just good at? What are you great at? What are you great at? And what are you in love with in regards to what you would want to be known for? Like three things, and I gave this obviously a lot of thought. For me, three things come to mind. One is self-awareness. I take pride in waking up the soul of other people. Great pride in reaching down someone's jugular vein through their throat, grab their heart, make it stop beating for 2 seconds so that they can know that they're alive, so that they can wake up and live the most amazing freaking life ever. For some people, it takes a minute, and some people don't stick around long enough because they're just the walking dead and they live in the land of excuses, But if they hang around long enough, I'll tell you, success is contagious. The habits are contagious. The thought process is contagious. The passion is contagious. It's infectious. The success to be able to achieve, and you see many of the people on this call that are stepping out on the ledge, making things happen. Every week you're hearing testimonials of just, and they don't have to be quantum leaps. They don't have to be, I got 1,000 customers or I knocked out 100 in this week. It's just one little, really it's just one win at a time. One of something that you can, and I'm talking about just a win. To go out there and talk to 100 people, talk to 10 people, to have 5. Do you have 5 new people? Do you have 1 new person on this call? That's a win. Also, losing is contagious. If you're used to not bringing anybody on the call, maybe it's just you created that habit. You need to maybe evaluate yourself and ask yourself what your real belief system is. It has nothing to do with you being bad at ACN. It has nothing to do with you being bad at talking to people or I don't know what to say. It has to do with you fearing your own success and your own greatness. You didn't get here without being great. You were born to be great. I don't know what lie you bought or who sold it to you for you to live a mediocre or a subpar life. And I'm talking about in every area of your life, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. There's just way too much abundance for you to live in lack. I'm going to get a little bit into that in a little bit, but it's really a matter of knowing that we all have an expiration. From the time we're born, from the time we come out the womb, you're already dying. So I don't think it's morbid to talk about dying because from the time that you're born, every day that you live, you're one day closer to dying. But you're also one day closer to living the most extraordinary life you've ever had. But you'll never know that if you're just constantly running from your own shadow and your own fears are just suppressing you and oppressing you from being able to just, this business is so easy in comparison to become abundant and wealthy. All I have to do is master blessing other people. And that's what we stand for. Okay, so what's your job description? To bless. Well, what do you do exactly for a living? I bless other people. How many of you actually said that consistently? Whenever they ask you, you're trying to figure out what to say when they ask you. But your answer is the same every time. So what do you do for a living? I bless other people. And you say it emphatic. That's it. That's all you say. You don't explain. You don't say a word. I just bless. If you just said that, if that's what you believe that you are, a person that's a blessing and what we have is a blessing, and all you had to say was, what I do for a living, I bless other people. Do you understand that 8 out of 10 won't ask you what that is exactly? Oh, that's pretty awesome. But 2 will be like, how? Those are the 2 you should be talking to. You don't even have to talk anymore to the other 8. And if you actually just learn the system, and those 2 said, so what do you got? You should get on this call on Friday. You should get on this call on Monday. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Al Thomas. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Byron Nelson. There's this woman or this man. If you just got yourself out of the way and said, let me have somebody else explain to you how great a blessing is. Then my question would be, over the last 4 weeks, if you just did that every day and you're out there talking to people every day, why wouldn't you have 16 new people on the call right now? If you understand what I'm saying. Because if you don't understand what I'm saying, because you're messing something up. Because it's not that difficult. So what do you do if I go to Sam? I'm a plumber. If I need a plumber, I'm gonna say, Sam, man, I've been looking for a plumber, Mr. Foster. Well, what do you do, Robbie? Well, I'm a podiatrist. Oh, really? My foot has been aching me for, man. The person that's looking for a blessing are the ones that, what do? I change lives. Really? I need my life changed. Why do you make it so difficult? Like, well, how do I talk to a talk? How do I deal with the real estate agent? How do I deal with the doctor? Well, I'm talking to all these people. Well, I got 100 people I'm gonna get on the call. You don't have nobody on the call. What are you talking about? What are you showing up for? This is not that difficult. Life is simple. Humans complicated. God gave you a complete directory. It's called the Bible. Some people want to tell you, well, man wrote the Bible. Well, the devil is, well, God's not real. What the hell is wrong with people? I don't need your opinion. It's a directory. It's a navigation system. Who cares if Moses was ever even real? The book and the facts in the stories tell you good, bad, right, wrong. That's all you need to take from it. Who gives a freak about your beliefs? Do you want to get into a religious conversation, you crackhead? Is anybody understanding this? I just don't understand why people make life so difficult. And I understand it, just understanding the journey of where we come from and all the experiences and all the lies and all the stories and the people we've watched and our parents and the system and the education and how many bad downloads have been, put into us, that we have so many viruses and they're so jaded. People that want to step up and act like they know what they're talking about, but you look at the ledger. I'm a ledger person. Show me your bank account. Show me what your check was last week. Then I'll listen to you. Otherwise, shut up. Show me your production. Show me it's not even about money. Show me your life is completely shifted. Can't tell me how to get in shape and you're sitting up there with the Big Mac in your hand. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. You can't tell me you know about relationships and you haven't kept somebody for past 3 days, or your kids don't. You're a great parent, but you want to talk about parenting, but your kids. Is anybody understanding this conversation? We need to create documentation. You might want to write that down. And notice I said we need documentation, which will beat any conversation. I'm just so few on words and entertaining, not even ignorant, but stupid conversations. Because I think it's stupid to talk about something that you haven't done or experienced or know about and then overcame it. That's the true piece to that conversation is overcame it. You know how many coaches say they're a coach and they still need to be coached? How many say, well, I'm a relationship coach, but you still don't have a powerful relationship? Well, I'm a financial coach, but you still haven't cleared net 100,000. Well, I want to talk to you about Jesus, but you're still lost in the devil's den. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, really? It's just time for a new story. Remember, when I do my conversations, they're mostly to myself. You guys just happen to be the audience. Welcome. It's just time for a new story. So in understanding that, I did back in the day, and I say back in the day because it was over 3 years ago, and I'm going back to it. I would take an alphabet and I would create, for whatever month it was, a letter. And that letter, I would come up with words for every day of the year. So for example, if it happened to be this month was peas. So I have a garden of alphabets. So I have a garden of P's, I have a garden of B's, I have a garden of C's, commitment, consistency. I have a garden of, M's, money, manifesting. It's just everything that just takes it to a whole nother level for me. So I went to my garden and I pulled out 5 of my fruit in the garden of peas that I'm going to share with you this morning. And I just like the peas for whatever reason. They're one of my favorites: prophet, prophecy, prophetic. I have a very deep garden that I plant and sow seeds in the word, which Jesus was the word before he became Jesus. That's how it works for me. This is just how it works for me. Yes, but I was talking P-R-O-P-H-E-T, but there is a P-R-O-F-I-T. There's a reason why they go together, by the way, Neha. Why prophet is prophet. That's a conversation for another day. That's definitely a conversation for another day. But I'm gonna give you 5 of my P's. The first one, which we're talking about, is called perseverance. Because what I believe the majority of people lack is perseverance. When it comes to success in everything, when it comes to success with your health, when it comes to success with your money, when it comes to success with your relationships, when it comes to success with your mind, when it comes to success with overcoming, there's so many different directions and so many places you can go. People stop and go all the time. Well, I'm getting married. Well, I'm moving. Well, I'm going through a breakup. I don't get it. Did you not know life is still going on? But if you had a job, you'd still show up at the job. See, the problem is, there's one of my P's, but I didn't add it to this garden. The problem, because the problem's only a problem when you don't have a solution. The problem is why people stop and start in this business at ETL, at RD, at RBP, is because they never employed themselves. They actually look at this as an opportunity, and they translate opportunity to transactional or seasonal, or when I feel good, or when I'm enthusiastic, or when I'm high, or when the dream is there, or when somebody motivates me, or when the checks are there, or my own desire, or I just don't want to quit, so I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna start back up, but I'm not going anywhere, but I'm still here. But see, until you make it a job that you have to get paid to pay all of your bills, that it has to replace your entire lifestyle, until you make it a job, for those that remember having a job or those that have a job, that if you miss 2 days, you're going to be written up. If you miss a 3rd day, they're going to fire you. You got to find another job. You might as well just leave this and go to another, until you employ yourself, till it pays everything, that you're the CEO. And then that even while Mr. Al Thomas is in the Uber, he's still on the job because he's the CEO. You haven't elevated to SVP, which is CEO, yet. So you're still acting as if you have another job. This is just see, the key to this is to be able to work it on a part-time basis and I want you guys to write this down, because this is what people miss. The key, and 99% of people that start in this business need to understand that it is designed to work on a part-time basis, but with a full-time mentality. It is to consume you until you finish the finish line, which is at that point you actually start and know there is no freaking finish line in becoming great. That's why I asked you in the beginning, what is it that you're great at? Because it goes so much deeper and so much further past ACN. Until you understand that the way you show up here is your brand. That means if you're only at ETL, if you're only at RD, if you constantly stop and start, if you're excited now, but nobody sees you for a minute, and you have a title, but you don't have a whole lot of people following you. You may have a huge organization, but how many people actually count on you? Because see, if people count on you, you can't disappear and take 2 and 3 weeks off. I want you to understand. I want you to get this. If you have a child, and unfortunately some of you guys don't, so you don't understand this conversation, I can't call my son and say, daddy's going to take daddy time off for about a month. You aren't going to have a daddy for a month or for 2 weeks. In fact, you aren't going to have a daddy for about a week because daddy got some shit to do. He needs to just take care of daddy. So daddy's not going to be around. But that's the way you guys operate in this business. And that's why you haven't finished the mile. Because it's when see, the true test of success is when it gets hard, when there's nothing happening, when you aren't having any momentum. Are you just that much more? I go deeper in the rabbit hole when I don't have success. I'm like, there's something not working here. Maybe I just need to take a break. I'm burning myself out. I've put in too many hours. I've been working this business. You don't understand. I put in 20 hours. Who cares how many hours you put in? You haven't won an NBA championship. You haven't won an NFL championship. You haven't gotten a baseball championship. You haven't won Wimbledon yet. But you want to, because you put in the hours. I don't know a professional, a person that makes millions that says, oh, I put in X amount of hours, so I deserve time off, and they haven't won. I don't know anybody like that. Please, if you guys know somebody like that, please do tell. A person who wants the championship stopped counting hours a long time ago. A person that's fighting for their life. Stop counting hours a long time. How much time do you put in, to get rid of those migraines? Do you know how many hours you put in to get rid of that flu? How many hours did you put in to get rid of that, microfibrillation? How many hours are you really counting hours to heal yourself? Are you really counting hours to make the income you want? Are you really counting hours for your salvation of how many hours? Well, I've decided to give my life to Christ. I'm just curious though, since you're sharing with me and you're so sold out on this Christ thing, if I choose to do this, which I believe it's a good thing, it sounds really interesting, this Easter thing, the man, coming up to life 3 days later, coming out, dying on the cross for my sins, which it sounds interesting. I'm in. I just have to ask you a question. How many hours do I have to put in if I decide to do this salvation thing? I'm just kind of curious. Don't worry about it. I'll sign the application. It sounds like something I really want to get involved with. And that's how people lose. All day, every day. Because those that are on the winning path, it's a lifestyle. So that's why I continue to ask you, what is it that you love? And what is it that you're great at? See, I'm great, and my mastery is in communication and teaching language. That's my mastery. Because I can talk to someone old, young, black, white, thin, big, somebody who's Persian, somebody who's Jewish, somebody. I can reach anybody that God has made that's a human being walking on this planet. And quite frankly, for those that know me on a personal level, know that I can reach every animal. Any creature that has a heartbeat, I'm that whisper guy. Because it comes from a heart thing. You can drop me in any country on any planet, before it's over, they will fall in love with me. You know why? Because I love on them more than they've ever been loved on before. See, that's the trick. It wasn't the arrogance that everyone's going to fall in love with Byron Nelson. The trick is Byron Nelson's going to love on them so much they can't help but to love me back, including my haters. They're going to hate that they love me. It's who I am. And I get a high and a pride. I really pride myself on that. That's my brand. What is your brand? You don't need to be like me or like Mr. Al Thomas. If you figure out that there's not another one of you made, you'll find out that you're an exceptional you. You first got to figure out there's not another one of you that's been made, and then you will stop trying to be like someone else. You will just be listen, Linda, listen. You will just be inspired by someone else. It's an amazing freaking thing. So number one is perseverance. And in that perseverance, which is really amazing, I remember when I was swinging for $100. And I did it in everything I did till I planted my flag here and I swung for $100. I made $100. And I kept swinging, then I wanted $1,000. In life, I kept swinging, and then I wanted $10,000. In life, I kept swinging, and then I wanted $100,000. In life, I kept swinging, and then I wanted $200,000. In life, I kept swinging, and then I wanted $500,000. In life, I kept swinging, and then I wanted $1 million. In life, I kept swinging $10 million. Right now, I'm swinging for $100 million. And I'm going to get my $100 million because I don't know how to stop swinging. Now, I had to start at $100. My point is, where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Please write that down. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Now, I don't want to get caught up in the money, but I'm sharing with you why I need so much abundance is because of my legacy. That's what I started with. See, my legacy, first I had to establish, what am I great at? I'm not really great at the technical stuff. I mean, if you actually ask me how to switch out a SIM card, I'm probably going to mess your life up. Vivint, I'm starting, I can tell you the bullet points of Vivint, but I don't even know how to use my phone and look into the camera. I pay people to do that. Electricity, I really don't know anything about a therm but I know how to sign up a customer. Gas is really simple to me because it's just a simple, you have gas, I got gas, I give you gas. I love ID Seal, that's real simple. And I love that one because I'm like, look, $300, I'm gonna save your life and help your credit because I'm really into financial. So let me tell you why you need to pay $300 versus your $30 where your stuff is gonna get messed up. So that gets into number two, which I'm sticking with perseverance, and number two is points. My second seed in the garden of peas is called points. And all I know with points, this is all, I don't understand all the products. If you notice, there's another P. You can throw that in there for number 7 if you want, but right there behind problem. But the only thing I know about points is the only thing that I know about points. Because I'm a sports fanatic. I love basketball. I love champions. I love the body. I love how many reps how many miles I can walk, how far I can run, how high I can climb on a mountain, how far I can jump out. I love measurements of growing myself, if that makes sense. So points, it kind of plays into my champion mentality. And what I've learned in sports is the team that has the most points wins in every game. That's all I can tell you about the products. I don't understand anything about the products. I just know how to get the most points. If you look at Renata and Boris, they got the most points. If you look at Mike Vasuti when he was number 1, the most points. If you look at Jeff Weber when he was number 1, the most points. If you look at anybody that I've touched, most points. You talk to Jocelyn, she gets the most points. Anybody I deal with, they get points. They understand how to get points because they understand if we have points, our team wins. You go to Australia, my team, they get points. You go to New Zealand, my team, they get points. You go to Japan, you deal with my number one with Brian Sachs, they get points. Anybody I touch, they understand. They didn't learn from Byron Nelson, not Jocelyn, not Brian, not Mike, not Renata. None of them learned from Byron the products, but what they did learn is how to go get points to win the game. How many points do you have? I may not know how to go and get a whole bunch of people on my team. I can't guarantee who's going to get in, but Natasha knows how to go get points. The leaders I touch, they know how to get points. And that is an amazing replacement, or if you will, trophy in lieu of, or in the interim of waiting, of learning how to win prospects. While I'm learning how to bring new people on my team, what I do have control over is points. I don't have control over people getting in on my team, people quitting on my team, people hitting a position on my team, people getting qualified, but I do have the power of being an example that people want to follow. I do have that. I have that. So we go from perseverance, which is hitting the ball out of the park. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. It should be in massive, massive, abundant thought process. We go from the points, the perseverance to the points, which you can put hashtag or a slant and put prospects behind that. So we have perseverance, we have points, got prospects. Prospects are a default from me getting points. Just learn the system. Your first week, your first month should be in accumulating as many points and learning how to share the business with prospects. If you do your job, you'll never have to get points again. They'll just fall in your lap after the first 30 days. And during that period of time, if you learned in the first 30 days that you push reset start, then you will learn how to prospect because you work with somebody who showed you how to prospect, like a Julian Lewis or any other leader that's on here. You got a myriad of people to help you, but the worst thing is to show up in the ledger column with no points and no players. That's going to be your fault. Number 4. The fourth P actually is linked to number 5. I'm going to put them together for you. The fourth P is learning how to paint a picture. How to paint a picture. And number 5, so I can talk about them both at the same time, is the one who is prosperous. Well, don't write it down yet. I just want you to hear this sentence. The one who is prosperous is the one who presents. Until you're presenting, you will never make any money. Not in ACN. Here's a secret. Here's a secret. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. If you don't learn how to present, you will never own a business. You will always be an employee. In any business. In every business. In all businesses. You will be nothing but a grunt employee if you never present. You will never make any money anywhere. It has nothing to do with ACN. It's a secret because for some reason, people miss this secret and want to know why they're broke. They're broke Because they don't present. They're waiting for someone else to present for them. Every CEO has picked up the pen and started writing. I don't want to mess up your name, Tashia, but the first one was perseverance. The second one was points, which then turned into number 3, which is prospects, which went hand in hand with points, with understanding how prospects come into your business and become your players. And now we're on 4 and 5, which happens to be painting a picture and presentations. And there's a whole lot more that came with that, like people, problems, profit, prophecy, but we won't even add all that. That means that you probably missed that, but at least you got those 5. Is everybody with me? Nod your head if everybody's with me in this conversation. Okay. So when you understand that the one who picks up, I've learned this, and it becomes so pronounced in every opportunity, in every business that I deal in real estate, in trading, in this, in my nonprofits, in helping people, in being able to help the homeless. It doesn't matter what I do. You have to be the CEO who takes charge and says, I'm gonna jump in and present everything. And in me having to present everything, it makes me responsible to know that I have to go get the information. So if I actually learn a language, that means I'm actually teaching and talking to somebody else in Spanish or in Portuguese or in Mandarin, because they're like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to learn. Great. I'm going to teach you. But you just started. Exactly. That's going to force me to have to learn to teach you from the teacher that's teaching me. The quicker you learn how to pick up the pen, that's just a metaphor. The quicker you learn how to jump in the water and learn about options, or learn about whatever it is you do, anything that you do, I learn by jumping in the water. And the more you do it, the more you adapt, the better you get at it. There's nothing that I don't do that within 30 to 45 days, I sound better than any expert you've ever heard from. And for some people on here, they'll tell you it probably takes less than that, less than 7 days for me. But to truly fill in the gaps in 30 days, I don't care what you study. I don't care if you're a PhD, a master's, I don't care if you got your doctorate. You let me jump in your water for 30 days like a dog with a bone in his mouth. I promise you, I'll know it as well, if not better, than any person that's ever taken 7 years in that, because I become so obsessed. It's not just a process for me. And I force myself to engage in the conversations, no matter how bad I sound. That's one of the things I learned by being in Colombia. No matter where I go, they love, when I go to Mexico, they love a person that's attempting to speak Spanish, because that means you actually care about our culture. You actually, instead of you just sitting up there and having a translator or sitting up there, to see somebody really follow. It doesn't matter when I went to Italy. It doesn't matter when I went to Australia, to be able to sit up there and understand, my Samoans, and from Samoa, when I went to Samoa, to be able to understand another person's culture means and shows that you're interested, versus you being interesting on your high horse and your arrogance. Is anybody understanding this conversation? They don't mind you messing up. They don't care that you're fighting to understand them. It's one of the greatest tricks of the trade of everything politically and business-wise around the world, is to know that person. It's called R&D. We call it rob and duplicate. I call it research and development. I research a person before I go and see them. I know more about them than they'll ever know about me. Before I get on a call with somebody, when I'm in the trenches, I went, oh, so you know what it's like? I mean, imagine imagine you have a hairdressing, you have a salon. How do you know I have a salon? Imagine that it's a single parent. How do you know I'm a single parent? Imagine a person went through a divorce. How do you know I went? You don't even do your due diligence and talking to your people to make it, to be able to relate. It's called relationship marketing. Mastering the art of relating to somebody. Second to the greatest sound to a person's ear is knowing about them. The first best sound is knowing their name. Now, I intentionally delete a lot of people's names. That's a terrible story to tell you. I don't have time to tell you the history behind it. but I intentionally have selective memory. I will remember somebody. I mean, it's amazing. In my relationship, I'm telling you, every relationship I've ever had, you know what I've mastered? I will go, and this happened. I'll go and my girl will be like, "Man, that's a nice purse. Wow, that's I like these type of flowers. Wow, you know what? That painting over there. I've done this with my friends. Wow, you know, I like this. You know what I do? I have a journal. For everyone that means something to me, I have a journal and I write it down. Guess what? They don't get it right there on the spot. I'm like, oh, I'm not a big baller. I'm like, oh, baby, I'll get this for you right now. No. 6 months later, wow, whoa, wow. It's the same as remembering someone's name. I'll take a journal. I'll meet somebody that I want to remember, write it down. I may not talk to him for another 3 weeks. I get on, hey, Joe, how you remember my name? There was like you didn't even talk to me. You didn't even know me. I will see somebody, the way they sit up, I'll see them on a screen, just the way they pay attention, just the way literally. I'll be like, Wilfredo. Yeah, let me write that down. I like the way he's paying attention. He's in my camp. He'll come back on the next time and be like, I'll give him a call. Text him. How I didn't even know you. I didn't even know you knew I existed. Exactly. It's little things to make all the difference in the world, to make someone feel special. What distinguishes you from everybody else? I mean, even in the jungle of you mating, what makes you any different than anybody else? Do you understand? Man, I don't even want to go there. Do you understand through my entire life, I get the same, and I'm sure women do too. You get the same lines from 5 different guys. They don't even know each other. They give you the same line. You're the most beautiful thing. I get the same lines from women all over the world, texting. Really? They never get a text or a call back ever. I'm like, you sound like the other 1,000 before you. This is why this one is special to me. This is why this person on my team is special to me. This is why this opportunity is special to me. What the question is, don't get caught in the dialogue. Listen to what I'm saying, because your emotions will take. Listen to what I'm saying. What separates you and your opportunity from everybody else? What makes you distinct? What makes you stand out? That's called outstanding. Jerry, he gets on, guess what? He does these all. You know what makes him special? Mr. Clemens so special? He does these every day. He doesn't have to talk. He does from time to time, but he doesn't have to talk. He sends me stuff. He knows what I like as far as different videos and different things. Half the stuff you guys get, I get from him. You know what he does to stand out? He makes himself significant and important. You know who has access to all the information in every video and every audio, and who has over 100 points and who is applying himself? Now I could use Sam. I could use, Mr. Clemens. There's a lot of people on here I could use, but he has access to every video. You know why? Because he sacrificed himself to put every one of them together. Now, Mr. Thomas, just like people who do it for me, you're like, oh, Jimmy, Mr. Clemens, thank you so much. He's like, yeah, right. Thank you. Yes, it's my honor to do so. And he's got everything. He's got an entire library. He did a backdoor collision of success. He has access to every RVP and every SVP with, listen to the difference, with the blessing and the validation of a senior vice president, because of the way he did it. No, I'll host it. Whatever I got to learn, however I got to figure out how to do all this, I got you. It's called that extra mile. Doing something just a little bit extra. See, there's 5 horses to race in the Derby. I'm gonna wrap this up. I got 4 minutes. I want to cut this off in an hour. There's about 10 horses racing, but one horse wins by a nose. It never wins by like long limbs. If you look at car races, it just wins. They got to take a camera. Julie knows what I'm talking about. They got to take a camera to see who won. And nobody ever remembers second, third, fourth, and fifth. But it was the second fastest car in the world. It was the second fastest horse in the world. It was the second greatest player that got silver in the athlete in gymnastics and in the pole vault in the world. And they're never remembered because somebody did something just a little bit extra. Just a little bit. They just went a little bit further than what everybody else was willing to do. They're a little bit more committed than everybody else was willing to do. They got up when nobody got up. They stayed up when nobody stayed up. You know why I was on time this morning? I didn't go to bed. Do I sound like I haven't gotten any sleep? No, I don't expect anybody to be like me because there's only one of me. But that's how crazy I am. I got a lot done. I had to plan for everything I wanted to talk about. I had a great conversation with God. I was able to dig up stuff nobody else was able to dig up. I was actually able to put together a conversation that nobody else would put together. They just showed up, wiped it out of their eyes, got on the call. Guess what? I have it in my head because I was having a conversation with myself. I was studying for myself. I was looking for the piece for myself. I had to, until you put yourself in a position that you have to be responsible for other people, you'll never have the ability to respond. No, some of y'all just missed that. Let me say it again. See, it's called responsibility. Until you put yourself in a position of being responsible for other people, then you won't understand the word responsibility reversed is the ability to respond, which is why 95% of people react. See, when you respond, you're in a calm state. Nothing shakes you. The house is on fire. Give me a second. I got this. The baby just fell out the tree. Is he dead? Excellent. I'll be right there. I just lost $100,000. Are you kidding me? Don't worry about it. I can make that up in the next 2 months. 3 months max. We just got to figure out how to get through the next 90 days. Start getting ahead of the game. I'm going to hit RD. I'm ETL. I need to have that done in 30 days. Let's get it done. I'm going to finish out RVP before this year's out. No, you know what? Why am I going to wait till the end of the year? We always say the end of the year. Why don't we just get it done by September and be 3/4 away moving towards, yeah. That sounds like a great plan. Let's just get that done. I'm calm about it. Let's map it out. Let's commit to it. You and me, Byron. Byron, everything that's linked to you. Let's just commit. Let's commit to our body. Let's commit to our health. Let's commit to our mind. Let's commit to our soul. Let's commit to our money. I'm afraid of commitment. Then die. Because you're just the walking dead anyway. Maybe I need to get an accountability. You know what? Who's really doing well? Samuel Foster's doing well. Sam, would you be my accountability partner? Let me find somebody who's already on the treadmill. Julian's out there on the. Let me find somebody. I'm gonna get somebody who's like me. I want somebody who's not like me that's gonna push and kick my ass and call my shit out. Forgive me for cursing in this training tape. We're gonna create a plan and we're gonna stick with it till we finish what we started to do. Someone who's gonna make me put 5 new people on this call every new week until I find 3 crazy people who bring 5 for them. I need an accountability. I need somebody, I don't want somebody who's in my downline. I don't care if they're from Mars. I need somebody who's gonna kick my behind and is gonna allow me to kick theirs to push us to the next level. That's just my garden. Thank you. Don't thank me. Get your ass up and do something. Don't worry, I will. We in this. We got this. Can we talk to God first? Can we all talk to God? Get out of our head. Get out. No, I don't need it all. All y'all sit right here. You're on my board of directors. Let's talk to him and get off your knees. Stop praying. He didn't hurt your ass enough. Get off your knees and let's go to work. I'm with it. All of me is with it. I got all my voices. I don't know about y'all, but we just had a great conversation this morning with each other. I'm just hoping since y'all were here, maybe it hit somebody in the head, like a mule in the back of the head. I'm in a good mood. I'm open for extra credit. I know Mr. Al Thomas is still driving. I'm going to close out of respect for time, but I want you to see something before I close out. I want to show something. Mr. Al Thomas, give me 3 minutes. I'm going to close out. Then I'm going to bring you on. Just 3 minutes. I want to show this real quick. It's 3 minutes long. Everybody bear with me on this. You can learn from one of the greatest little creatures God has ever created to me on the planet Earth. The greatest, it's literally one of the greatest creatures God has created to me on the planet Earth. Please pay attention. He's the smallest, most powerful little thing on the planet. So I want to make sure here, it's 3 minutes long, that you get this conversation.
I want to share a very important philosophy with you today. It's a philosophy I think everyone should hear. Proverb 6:8-11. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. Yet it stores its provisions in summer and gather its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a bandit and scarcity like an armed man. Here's the 5 philosophy that we can learn from ants. Ants have no commander. Ants don't need a commander to tell them to get started. They work faithfully and need no outside accountability to keep them doing right and doing the right things. They work hard and will replace their anthill when it gets ruined. Meaning, if you want to apply this in your real life, be proactive, be honest to yourself, and be industrious. Ants plan ahead. Ants think winter all summer long. They store provision in summer. They think the clock is running out of time and they are hurrying to get food back to their hive. Meaning, they hustle hard in advance to secure their future. Ants stay positive, always. Ants remind themselves that winter does not last long. They know they'll soon be out. Meaning, whatever happens in your life right now, it will not last forever. Ants never quit. They only change their approach. If they're going somewhere and you stop them or block their pathway, they'll look for another way up, down, all around. They keep looking till they find another way. Meaning, learn to embrace struggle and hardship in your life. Be flexible and be like ants who don't quit. Winners are not quitters. Ants always do their best, meaning give your best in everything you do right now. It will always lead you to the greater things and the next level in your life. Thanks for watching this video. Share and subscribe for more.
I hope you guys got a lot out of that. Now, Mr. Al Thomas, would you join me? I am complete. I just had a great conversation with myself. I'm good.
Sir,